To tell me that that was what my mole revealed, I immediately called my dad, and he was shaken visibly. I could hear it in his voice, and so he explained to me, and I had to even ask him, does that mean that I have cancer? And he said yes. And I asked him on the phone, even at that very moment, does that mean I'm going to die? And he said no, that we're going to find a surgeon and we're going to stage it, and he explained the whole process of cancer to me at that point. So that actually was harder than the second and third time, because we had gone through it, and as every cancer survivor or anyone who is in any contact with cancer, you know that it's a life-changing thing for anyone touched with cancer. And from that, the first time, we took all of the gifts that cancer can give you, and it changed all of our lives for the next 7 years. So the second diagnosis was, although it was shocking for me, but not necessarily for my dad. He was very vigilant about going to my oncologist every year, getting the tests that needed to be taken, the liver scans and the PET scans and all of that, to make sure that it didn't come back. But he knew that when it does come back, melanoma comes back very quickly and to lymph nodes and then spreads quickly. And that's exactly what happened. Somehow I had had a test prior to it going to my lymph nodes, and then when it did hit my lymph nodes, spread very, very quickly. So with that, it was shocking, but somehow we knew through, I think, just the 7 years prior, and having faith and feeling so lucky to be blessed with all of those years, that it was going to be okay. And the doctors were amazing. The American Cancer Society was amazing. And the support is what you lean on, and that's what we received, and that's what got us through.
Well, education and prevention.
That's it.
And also all the advances and the medicines and the technological breakthroughs have a big reason why you're here today. And
that is why I'm here today, because at one point, just a couple years prior, interleukin-2 was on trial. It was just a drug that they thought would, that they would try. And sure enough, when I was diagnosed the second time with melanoma, it proved to be, although extremely aggressive, it works. And so it was FDA approved, and it was something that the hospitals used, and sure enough, it worked for me. So,
well, we're all glad to hear that you're in remission, and definitely a 3-time survivor.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you.
So we have Elizabeth. So Elizabeth, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, like where do you go to school and how old you are?
I'm 8 years old. I go to Butterfield School. I am in 2nd grade, and my teacher is Mrs. Kohlhofer.
Okay. And how did you feel? Do you remember when your mom told you she had cancer?
Yes. It was very shocking, and I was very afraid because I didn't know what was going to happen.
And did your friends help you? What did they say to you?
They said, I'm very sorry for you, and if I could run Relay for Life.
Oh. And so how did you help your mom when she got home from the hospital?
Well, she was so weak that she could barely walk. I would help her to her bed, and we would try to be very quiet so she would get lots of rest.
Okay.
And pedicures.
And pedicures. Take her to get pedicures and treat her and make sure she feels good. Oh, do good for you. That made you feel good and special. Molly, tell us a little bit about yourself. How old you are and where you go to school?
I'm 10 years old. My name is Molly Behnke. I go to Butterfield School. I'm in 4th grade, and my teacher is Mrs. Kemp.
And what do you like to do? Do you have you any sports or?
I do dance. I do hip hop.
Well, you enjoy that, don't you?
Yeah.
And so what do you remember about your mom when she was diagnosed with cancer?
The thing I remember the most is every Sunday of the week that she came home from the hospital is when, she just came in and just started smiling the second she saw us. And
she was just glad to be home, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And so you helped around the house too and doing what you could?
Yeah.
And so why are you involved in Relay for Life?
I like to save money for cancer research and just,
And to help other people so they don't have to hear those words too. Yeah, it'd be nice to have this disease eradicated, like Megan said, one of these days.
Yeah.
What advice would you give another kid whose mom or dad or brother or sister had cancer?
That just to be hopeful.
That's great, because your mom's had it 3 times.
Yeah.
You could tell the other children that, right? And that they could survive that. And how did you feel when you told her? Were you a little scared, or?
Yeah, I was scared, but she just kept telling us, I'm gonna live. We're just planning on a miracle, and it happened.
It did happen. Stage 4 melanoma. That's great. Well, thank you. And we have Emily next to your sister. And so Emily, tell us where you go to school and what your interests are.
I'm in 8th grade, and I go to Highland Middle School. And I like to play tennis, and I like to read and be with my friends and my family. And
Oh, great. And what does Relay for Life mean to you now that your mom is a 3-time cancer survivor?
well, before, I think that I probably would have eventually done Relay for Life because my friends have done it in the past. But it wouldn't have meant as much to me, I don't think, because I wouldn't have had the experience that I've had with my mom having cancer. So I think that now, this year doing it, I'll know what it feels like to have my mom having cancer and having a loved one be scared and not know what's going to happen, but being faithful and knowing that it's going to be okay. And so I think that it'll be special.
And it will be a special time this time, especially when you take a walk around the track with your mom and holding her hand because you're a caregiver and she's a survivor. That would be a very special time for you, won't it?
Definitely, yeah.
And so who can come to Relay for Life?
Anybody can come to Relay for Life. You don't have to live near here. You can live anywhere and you can come. And you can be young or not so young. You can be a survivor. You can be going through it. You can be somebody that just wants to help anybody.
Right, and you can invite your friends out just to have a good time, right?
Yeah.
And so how can people participate in Relay for Life? How can they join?
Well, you can join a team. You can make a team, and you can go to their website, and it's really easy. My mom's not very good at computers or anything, so we went on together, and it's just a step-by-step, it's not a survey, but registration thing. And we picked a team name, and we decided how we were gonna raise money and how much money we'd raise for the actual event. And so you can start a team, and when you're there at Relay for Life, you can purchase a luminaria, and it's just a bag with sand and a candle in it, and you write on the bag a name of somebody that you know that has been touched by cancer in some way, that has either been lost of cancer or has survived, and everybody's quiet and they just have all the candles lit up all around honoring somebody they know that has had cancer. So you can do that, and
there's lots of ways to join. You said them great. Thank you. And the next question is for your mom. So Megan, what would you say to another person newly diagnosed with cancer?
I think, just as Molly said, just to have hope. The American Cancer Society, the doctors, people doing research, everybody together is finding cures every single day with the money that's raised by Relay for Life and other